It's FoosTalk Live.
You talking to me?
Compelling and lively banter.
Are you going to talk to us?
Talking foosball.
Foosball was how I measured my value as a man. You took that away.
Players and fans, promoters and pros. Unedited and raw.
Talk.
Living in the moment.
We have a lot of important things to talk about.
All while practicing social distancing.
Cool. We'll talk. No big whoop.
Let's get this thing started. FoosTalk Live.
Coming to you from the studios of Foosball Radio and inside Foos TV. Brought to you in part by 518 Prints, one of the finest printers of promotional items, t-shirts, jackets, hoodies, and foosball apparel. Visit 518prints.com. FoosTalk Live is also brought to you in part by Foosballers, the movie, the spectacular Joe Hesslinger documentary about the sport of foosball. Download your copy now. Visit foosballersmovie.com. Brought to you in part by Foosball Clubs USA, dedicated to promoting the sport through the school systems of America. Visit foosballclubsusa.com. Also being brought to you today by Foos by Tony and Foos by Brandon. Learn to play foosball from the top pros. Well, hey there, I'm Tom Robinson of Foosball Radio. Myself, Jim, and the rest of the crew have decided to take the Labor Day weekend off. And so we get a chance to present to you the best of FoosTalk Live for the summer of 2020. We're going to reminisce about the summer that was, including our IPA of the week, also our top fives, and mystery guests aplenty. We'll be hearing from Mike Archer, Steve Murray, Brandon Moreland, Trevor Park, and a few others, and a look back at our conversation with Joe Hesslinger during the week, which was one of the greatest events ever in the history of foosball in the summer of 2020, that ESPN special. Sit back, relax with a cold one for your Labor Day weekend as we present to you the best of the summer of 2020 and FoosTalk Live. What Jim and I like to do right about this time is to reveal our favorite IPA.
I am having from Bend, Oregon, the Deschutes Brewery, which actually is one of the larger microbreweries around. It's on the Deschutes River. They're in Bend, Oregon, on the east side of the Cascade Mountains. This one is called the Hand Up IPA, 6.5 alcohol by volume. 65 on the IBU chart. Oh, that's nice.
Lakewood, New York. And they are the home to Southern Tier Brewing Company. Now, they have something that they actually use a very ordinary-looking label, but I have a feeling it's less than ordinary on the inside. I haven't tried it, but here it is. It's called the 2 Times IPA. So it's a double IPA.
This might be your first double IPA of the 12-pack. As I think back, I think this is your first one. So all I can say is be careful, Tom. Be careful. It is the out of the Firestone Walker Brewing Company in Paso Robles, California. It's the Union Jack. The Union Jack IPA, 7% ABV, 60 on the IBU scale. Huge flavor that packs a punch. Well, let's see if that's true. Hold on.
So I'm looking at Sierra Nevada, which is family-owned, operated, and argued over. And they have it's actually in a can. This of course, brewed in Chico, California. It's called Hazy Little Thing IPA.
Well, it is certainly a week to toast things. Tonight I'm going with something a little different. Going with out of the Tommy Knocker Brewery in Idaho Springs, Colorado. I'm going with the Blood Orange IPA.
We're headed to Goose Island this evening. They have a hoppy, grapefruity, refreshing taste, and they are from Chicago, Illinois, Baldwinsville, New York, and Fort Collins, Colorado.
Here's to foosball.
Time once again for the FoosTalk Live Top 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Here's Jim Stevens and Mark Torres.
Let's do the top 5 dark horse teams first. Adrian and Eddie, 2003 World Champions, 94 Masters, Shan Coffey and Lewis Cartwright Masters Doubles, 93 World Championships, Tommy Atkinson and Russ King, 88 world championships, Carl Miller and Randy Stark, and 77 world champions, Todd Lafredo and Gil Jackson.
I have at number 5, I have Amy Fletcher and Becky Cherry at the 2001 Tornado World Championships. Number 4, Scotty Weidman and Mike Bowers, I believe 1997, might have been 98, might have been 99, Masters Open Doubles champions. Number 3, I've got Chris Doobie and Murph Schrock, the 94 U.S. Open up in Minnesota. Number 2, I've got Adrian Zamora and Eddie Gartman. And as Mark said, his number 1, same as mine, Todd Lafredo and Gil Jackson. I think the dark horses of all dark horses at number 1, at the top of the most unexpected list.
All right. Now, our second top 5 list was the best players never to win a top championship. So, Mark, begin with 5 and bring it all the way down to 1. Go ahead.
Sergio Aragonis, number 5. Mike Archer, number 4. Rob Atha, number 3. Fernando Rosa, number 2. And Kenny Allwell, number 1.
And I had Chris Starcheski at number 5, Steve Mose at number 4, Fernando De Rosa at number 3, Evan Stachlik at number 2, and the best player, in my opinion, to never win a major championship was, as Mark said, Ken Allwell. So we agreed on the 2 number 1s, and not a whole lot more there, Mark, but the 2 number 1s, I think, were pretty obvious, and there is never been a more obvious one, I don't think, than Todd and Gil. I mean, that was the ultimate, and I don't think we'll ever see anything quite like that again. If we're talking top 5 scrappiest players, why don't you go ahead and open it up?
Lewis Cartwright at number 5.
My number 5, I'm going to go back in time a little bit, back to the 70s, and I know some of you older listeners might appreciate this, but I'm going to go with a guy named Dan Kaiser.
My number 4 is a guy who really had a hacky brush down, and it went in front of the man and behind the man in 2 spots. From the same spot, he hit 2 spots with it. He had a fair lane pass. He had a good wall pass. His pull shot was deceptive because he would go straight or long, and they looked the same, and you didn't know which dead man straight or dead man long. He would throw in a blind middle every once in a while. He had a rollover that was, it leaned in one direction more than the other, and kind of brute force. My number 4, Tommy Atkinson.
They're my number 4, and I'm sure he may be on your list, maybe not, but he's a guy that seems to be on a lot of lists, and that's our good friend Steve Murray.
My number 3 is Steve Murray.
My number 3 is, and we've just sort of switched them around a little bit. I think 3 or 4. Mine is Tommy Atkinson.
Grunting and fighting and, just going after you. My number 2 is Scotty Weidman.
Number 2 for me is Don Swan.
And so I got Don Swan at number 1. Nothing. Okay. And he had this whole thing where he would shoot a pull shot, and he had this exhaling thing he did, and it was not to be distracting at all. It was part of his part of his persona on the game.
My number 1 is not even on your top 5 list. Do I get extra points for this?
Oh,
not
yes.
even on your top 5. My number 1.
Who?
All right. My number 1. And to me, it was not a difficult call. As much as I love the first 4 picks that I've come up with, my number 1 is a player who has won more world championships than any of these players. My number 1 is a person who won, I think, 14 straight World Open Doubles championships in her division. My number 1 is Cindy Head.
You know what? Oh, man, that's a great choice.
My number 1, top 5 scrappiest players, Cindy Head.
It's the FoosTalk Live mystery guest.
A mystery caller. Can we ask some questions to try to determine your identity?
Sure.
All right. Have you ever played for Team USA internationally?
Yes.
Have you played more often on the West Coast as opposed to the East Coast?
Yes.
More West Coast.
Are your reflexes quick as a cat?
That's what I've been told.
Do you resemble a character from Sesame Street?
I hope not.
Have you been accused of being one?
No.
Did you ever carry a team name of one of the characters from Sesame Street?
Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, memory jogs us.
It's starting to come to me. Tom, what about you? One more question?
Well, I would say, let's see here. Are you under 50?
No.
No. Well, that well,
Did you appear on our lists of earlier?
Yes.
Ooh. Tom, you got any
Ooh,
guesses?
I can act surprised.
All right. I think it's time for the big reveal. I'm looking here to see if anyone has guessed correctly. I don't see anyone on here. Do you resemble a character from Walker, Texas Ranger? Reese Roberts over in England, watching in the middle of the night. Apparently watching Walker, Texas Ranger in the middle of the night. All right. Someone online has guessed correctly. The Foos consigliere, whoever that is. I don't know who that is, although they're very active.
Your voice unmistakable.
Has guessed correctly. And Tom, let us introduce you to one of the great players of all time, the Hall of Famer, the 2003 Tornado World Open Doubles champion with Eddie Gartman, Adrian Zamora.
Adrian.
Hey, Tom.
Nice to meet you. I've heard your name many, many times, including not including tonight, but on other occasions. Yeah, your reputation precedes you, and thank you for joining us for FoosTalk Live.
My pleasure.
When did it occur to you during the course of play that weekend that you and Eddie could win this 2003 world title?
You know, I actually think in that tournament that I played all well, and I'm drawing a blank on his partner's name, but he was a really good goalie from Minnesota, and we went match point with him. This was maybe several rounds up in the winner's bracket, and we beat them. And it's interesting because at this point in my career, I kind of felt like maybe it wasn't going to happen for me. And winning open doubles at this World Championships was my absolute dream. Just I was obsessed with it. And a couple other things that were of interest at this tournament for me now, looking back on it, is I was just really loose. Maybe the expectations weren't quite there, so it helped me relax a little bit. But I had really had a lot of problems with Terry Moore on the 5-bar. And the plan every tournament playing him was to basically do something different. And every tournament when I had to play him, I would just get into my rut and I would maybe change the timing a little bit, but I would just fall back into my normal 5-bar routine, and I'd basically have the same outcome where he beat me, and it was because of that. And when we had to play Terry and Rob Mares, I finally just executed the plan, and that was just to completely mix it up on the 5-bar. And really what I did was pre-pick passes, and I was just bouncing off the wall and doing a brush up or bouncing off the wall and back down. And while that doesn't sound like championship type play, the reality was what I've been doing before against Terry wasn't working. And I was loose enough at that tournament to go ahead and try it. And we were able to get past them. And I think it was after that match when I really kind of started thinking, and I think I even said to Eddie, hey, I think we can pull this thing off.
Well, we have a mystery guest yet again this week who's decided to join us on FoosTalk Live. Mystery guest, welcome to FoosTalk Live. Can you hear me?
I can definitely hear you.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's you.
It's you.
I know who it is. Did you play in a whole bunch of World Open Doubles finals without winning them?
That's a heartbreaker question. Just hang up.
You cut me deep, Jim. You really cut me deep.
But I believe you also won one eventually, didn't you? In
Technically.
open doubles?
Yes, but I'm still
Technically.
feeling the cuts right now.
That is tough. That is rough.
Jim knows who it is.
Yeah, he's already got it.
All right.
Yeah, now I hear it. Now I finally hear it. But great
right.
job with the hypernasality. I believe my guess on this one, Tom Robinson, is going to be one of the great players of all time, the Hall of Famer, who I thought might be working tonight, but he's with us. Is it you, Lewis Cartwright?
It is. You still cut me and I'm still hurting.
Nice.
Wow.
You stud.
That
You
is
stud. Thanks, Lewis.
That's a huge part on our part. So, Lewis, welcome to FoosTalk Live, man.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, man. So, what's going on with you? What are you doing during COVID-19? Are you just hanging out and practicing at home?
Well, actually, I believe myself that mentally be younger, so I try to hang out with the people going to the beach and stuff.
No, I'm staying home. My wife is ultra paranoid for my son, and of course I'm worried about that also. So all I do is go to work and stay home and miss the days of going out to have a steak dinner.
Sure, understood. I gotcha.
And you can get a steak dinner pretty cheap in Las Vegas, where they don't have beaches, by the way, Louis.
They do have a beach. They have Shark Reef and a few other places.
Our mystery guest tonight, a man, as he said, played on the 2011 World Cup team and actually won the doubles championship that year, if I'm not mistaken, with Tom York, and is also the current World Open doubles champion on the Tornado table, and a guy who calls in here fairly regularly. I'm guessing, despite the really, really deceiving accent, it's Brandon Moreland.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's kind of messed with my voice. That's not.
That was great.
That's not a.
It's listen. It's just proof positive that you can't hide a prepubescent voice with any amount of modulation, helium, electronica, dude. You just can't. You figured it out so quickly.
So the accent is kind of like West Texas a little bit, maybe a little bit of deep Louisiana. Something.
I don't know. I was between like 3 or 4 different things. I was going to do that. Yeah, the guy from Family Guy was going to make his way into it, and I was going to try to duplicate Tom's voice on here as well at some point, but I was stuck. I had a big frog in my throat after the first thing I said, so it was.
Well, you also had a frog in your throat because I put you at number 1 for most underrated.
Yeah, I was getting all sorts of feels and stuff, and my eyes were welling up and things like that. So.
And meanwile, Torres did not even have you on his honorable mention. Which again,
well,
I think
he's like the number 2 ranked player, right? I mean, I think maybe I don't know, man. Yeah, I think you're great, Brendan. I think you get the accolades, but maybe Jim has a different idea.
Well, here's the thing for you. When you talk about, let's say last year, let's say 2019, when you ask someone who are the 2 best players on the American tour, they're going to say, well, Tony Spredeman and Ryan Moore.
Yep.
No, when you go back and you look at that year, the 2 best players on the American tour were Tony Spredeman and Brandon Moreland.
Welcome to our mystery guest of the week on the FoosTalk Live. Welcome, come on in. Can you hear us?
It's about time, guys.
Here we go again with this hypernasal. I'm holding my nose, trying to disguise my voice. Okay, I get it. We're going to do this from now on. It's fine. But no, so mystery guest, I have a couple of questions for you. I'd like to get some bearings here. What part of the world, or are you from? First of all, are you from the United States?
I am from the U.S.
All right, gotcha. And what part of the country? North, south, east, west?
I am from the U.S.
Gotcha. That's leading answer. Okay, so were you a player in the 1980s?
Absolutely.
All right. How about the 1970s?
Barely
a player in the 1970s. Okay, so a player from
check that. I was awesome in the 70s.
Were you touring in the 70s? That's a good question.
Yes, I was.
Gotcha. Okay, and you were awesome on the tour in the 1970s. Okay, so name one player that you played with as a partner in the 1970s we would recognize the name of. What would be one of the most famous players you played with?
Don Mahoney.
Don Mahoney. Okay.
Who the hell's Don Mahoney?
from Arizona.
He's from Arizona.
Oh, Arizona. Okay, Mahoney from Arizona. Okay, got it.
Jim, you got any questions you want to ask our mystery guest?
Are you best known as a forward, as a goalie, or more as a contributor to the game?
D, all the above.
Mm-hmm.
All of the above. Wow. Okay. Wow. So legendary figure, no doubt. Jim?
Were you when you played the forward position, did you shoot a pull shot as your primary shot?
Yes, sir, I did.
Oh, this narrows it down. Do they call you do you have a nickname that includes a luxury sports car?
I can't answer that.
nor can I. Okay, so let's let's look at your greatest successes in foosball. And again, I'm going to go back to this. Were they as a forward or as a goalie?
Well, I won 33 straight DYPs on Wednesday as a forward.
That's a record, I think.
That's great.
I think it's a record.
Wow.
Wednesday DYP. Wow, that's a commitment. Wednesdays.
And what was the name of the location that you won those 33 in a row on a Wednesday? What was the name of the location?
I'm sorry, but that would disclose my identity, sir.
Okay. Okay. So, have you ever been a member of Team USA and competed on a worldwide basis?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. I have an idea. I mean, can I guess?
Sure.
Is this Toddy Maserati?
I only wish I was Toddy Maserati.
Do you really though?
Only on the foos table.
Yeah. Are you a member of the United States Table Soccer Hall of Fame?
Affirmative.
Nice, Jim. I'm at a loss now. I gave up my best guess here.
Have you won? Did you win events in? Now you said you were dominant and a great player in the '70s, and I have no doubt of that. Did you also win? And I'm guessing you have won multiple world championships.
Affirmative.
Did you win any in the 1980s?
Affirmative.
1990s.
Affirmative.
2000s.
No, but I would have.
Would have.
I'm almost about to tap out, buddy. It's coming here. I mean, but again, the tone of the voice it definitely is.
Mr. Stevens, have you ever been to a Texas State tournament?
Oh my gosh, what an outstanding job you have done in disguising your voice. Oh, man.
Gotcha.
Golly. All right, you win the award, Steve Murray, for disguising your voice better than anyone. Great job, fantastic.
Oh man, my nose hurts.
Oh
man.
Awesome.
You know what? I had to bring him back, you guys. It's a new show, and he has so much to deliver. I wanted to change. I know we did a prior show with him. I listened to it. There was a lot of historical accounting of what he did, where he came from, but I wanted to change the pace a little bit. And I sent you some stuff, Tom. Steve, thank you for being on the show. You're my favorite, dude. So thank you for being on the show.
Well, according to Mark, I'm from somewhere over there, I guess. Yes. I don't know.
Tom, you have questions.
How about that?
Yes.
So, okay, mystery guest. This week I have 5 questions to ask. That's all I'm allowed. They're keeping me in corral here. So I can only ask you 5 questions. If I don't get it in 5 questions, I'll have to give up. But first question. What decade did you start playing foosball? The 70s, the 80s, 90s, or 2000s?
It is in the
90s. Okay, good. Now, have you of late won any major championships?
I don't think
Am I still connected?
No. No. Yes. Hello?
Yeah,
Okay, question 3. What major championship would that be?
The answer is no. I played in the 90s, and the second question, I missed it.
So, have you ever won any major championships, like something like a World Cup or World?
I think the last one that I win, I think it was maybe the open doubles.
Open doubles. Okay.
Maybe yes.
Okay, so I've officially got 2 questions left, and what player would we know that you've played doubles with? What's the most famous player you've ever played with?
Is this in the open doubles or is just anything?
So in anything.
I played with Frederico, and I also played with Billy Pappas and Frederico.
Wow. Okay, we're getting somewhere. I've got one question left. What?
Yes.
So, let's see. Are you Ryan Moore?
Not Ryan
Not
Moore.
Ryan Moore. Okay, that's my 5 questions. Jim, what do you think?
I usually like to ascertain whether you were a forward or a goalie.
Well, I was looking at your list, and I told it. I don't even have myself on this list as a forward or a goalie. But I guess I don't know what I am. I just play football.
So you're just a foosball player. Were you
Yes.
Were you on either of our lists tonight as a most versatile player?
Let's see. I look. I do not see my name. I have my own list, and I do not even have myself on the list. I have 15 players, and I do not even top 15.
What part of now? I'm going to assume that while you perhaps are from Europe, or maybe your great grandmother was, I'm assuming you're from North America. Would that be north, south, east, or west?
Well, this is the thing. My friend Mark Torres. He's the one who would give me this coaching class. I don't even know where I come from. I'm from America.
You're from America. Good.
Very good.
I do not. Very good here, Mark. You've topped yourself this
Again.
week, I think.
You guys ready? Did you guys want to tap out? Or you gonna keep going?
I ran out of questions.
We're not getting real concise answers. Clay, do you have an answer? Clay, you're still with us, right?
Yeah, I am. I don't know. It's such a good accent that I'm confused. It doesn't. I don't know.
Well,
Did we already ask if it's a man or a woman? I feel like it's a fair question at this point.
Do you know if you're a man or a woman?
Well, this is a funny situation because
All right, I heard him drop just.
This is something that I cannot speak about because me and Mark, we decided we not speak about this because of all the problems in the world.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
Do we have a question left, or are we out?
You do. You have a question left, certainly.
Mr.
Okay.
Toomey,
Do you speak anything besides broken English? Any other languages?
My answer is absolutely not. I could try other things. Yes.
I don't know.
Oh man, Torres
Got you. Broke you down. Broke your fools down.
If Mr. Torres says it's okay, I could explain to you in my normal voice.
You ready?
That may help. Yeah.
Okay, so this is it. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Oh, it didn't work. Hold on, please.
I'm wondering if this person has ever practiced.
It's Andy Kaufman.
All right. Well, let me tell you something here. I could tell you that Clay told me he went ahead and sent me a message on Messenger about, let me see, maybe a couple years ago. So me and Clay Toomey, we don't really know each other that well, but me and Clay Toomey, we did speak over Messenger at one point or another.
Jim, you still don't know who this is, Jim?
I don't think I've heard his real voice yet.
Turns out that I am a male, as far as I know.
Good. We're getting there.
I did not realize that you had the ability to do those sorts of voices. Very, very, very well done.
Well, what I'm trying to say here is Mark Torres. I mean, he is a great worker with people all around the world. My name is not Blake Robertson, but I do know that guy.
Dude, are you even capable of getting out of character now? Are you so down? Are you so down the method acting role that there's no recovery? Do you know who you are at this point?
Well, I'm not sure. I went to that little Mark Torres therapy thing, and then go there with. I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that. Mark Torres therapy, and it was. I came out a whole different person. That's all I know.
Now, Mark advertised you as a future Hall of Famer. I believe you said that in your build-up. Is that right, Mark?
Yeah, it's kind of a stretch. He might have some criteria that he might have a criteria. I'm not sure, but I think based on body of work and compared to some other people that got in, this guy will get in the Hall of Fame.
Can we get some actual real answers from you now that you're in your real voice? Are you a forward or goalie?
I guess I'm a forward, but I play goalie too.
What was your biggest win?
I played open doubles.
Yeah, we heard that.
Yeah, what
my big,
event
my,
did you?
my,
Go ahead.
my biggest win was open doubles. Does that matter whether it was one of our locals with about 5 or 10 players, or does it have to be like open doubles with like a regional or a?
Give us one open doubles major win. Do you remember?
I won one of those open doubles down there in Las Vegas, Nevada.
I own you guys. This is gonna get easier and easier every week. You should just give up, dude.
Doubles, and boy, I'm running through the names here, and especially names that are good at voices.
Jim, you're gonna kick yourself after this one.
I'm already kicking myself, Mark. Thanks for reminding me.
I don't feel.
Well, let me explain.
I like
this
how
one
Mark is
more
taking
time.
credit for this incredible voice acting here.
We laughed for a long time getting this voice together. I laughed my tail off listening to this guy talk in this voice.
It's really well done. Well done.
What year did you win open doubles in Las Vegas?
Oh boy, y'all got me. I couldn't tell you.
He doesn't even remember.
So it was only 1 year then.
Tapping out. If Jim taps out, everybody just tap out.
Tapped out.
I want to welcome the great Trevor Park to the
and this is where Mark Torres said it would wake everybody up. I played with Federico Colignone in the Master DYP over at the Worlds.
No idea that you.
This is what I should have asked. I should have asked, did you ever lose to a rookie at 2016 Colorado State in open doubles? That's what I should have asked.
It might have been to a rookie and a drunk partner.
And who could forget some of the more significant foosball events that occurred during the summer of 2020? What are you going to be doing for the Bardo this year?
Well, this is something we started doing, these video showcases at Inside Foos TV back in April with the Hall of Fame Classic. And what we're going to do for the Bardo Hearn celebration, which is such a special event each and every year down in Austin, Texas. This was to be the first one that wasn't held at Buffalo Billiards down on 6th Street. It was going to be at a hotel for the first time. And also a very special year because Joe Kuntz, the man behind the Bardo Hearn, passed away this past year.
Right.
What we're going to do to celebrate this incredible event is we're going to treat it like a tournament. Friday night, we're going to have a special Bardo Wars match that we did a few years ago, a classic Bardo Wars. And that's basically Goldie Wars where banks count 2. So we're going to run that on Friday night. And I believe the one we're going to run features 2 of the great Goldie War players of all time. And then Saturday, normally down in Austin, we would be, of course, doing the Bardo Hearn celebration Fallen Fooser ceremony, which honors and recognizes the players who have passed away all around the world since the last Bardo Hearn celebration. And so we are going to do that. We're going to have the Fallen Fooser ceremony. I've been working with tournament director Ben Kempner and Sissy Whipple down in Texas to put together the biographies of what is now 30 individuals who have passed away since the last Bardo Hearn.
Wow.
And we have photographs, we have some testimonials and other things. So that ceremony will be at 7 p.m. Central Time, Saturday, August 1st at Inside Foos TV as we bring you the Bardo Hearn Fallen Fooser ceremony, something that I've had the honor of being involved with over the last 8 or 10 years and looking forward to once again celebrating the lives of our fallen compadres. And then on Sunday, a big open singles or open doubles classic match from the Bardo Hearn celebration. So there'll be more news as we move forward.
Yeah.
But 2 weeks from this weekend will be the Bardo Hearn celebration video showcase at Inside Foos TV featuring the Fallen Fooser ceremony. And speaking of foosball, I've got some other kind of cool news. Another Inside Foos TV show that is going to be coming up. And this one, a little different, and it's something that has never been attempted before. I don't think in the entire history of foosball. I'm quite certain it hasn't been. But our good friend Clay Toomey, contributor with Inside Foos TV, contacted me earlier this week and said he had an idea. And he had fleshed it out. He had crossed all the T's, dotted all the I's. He wants to do, and he is going to be doing, starting tomorrow at 5 o'clock Eastern Time, 4 o'clock Central, and he is in the Central Time Zone there in the Dallas area. A daily show, Monday through Friday, 2 hours, called Inside Foos Daily. And it's going to be on the Inside Foos channel on Twitch. So that's twitch.tv/Inside Foos. And you can watch 2 hours of hanging out with Clay, which is basically what it is. It's not a show with a beginning, a middle, and end. It's just 2 hours of Clay in his studio doing what he does. He's going to talk to his close friends like Brandon Moreland and Warren Van Landingham and others.
Nice.
In the foosball world. I'll poke my head in there. Mark Torres is committed to also coming on once in a while to talk foosball. And that's really what it is. We're going to hang out with Clay and talk foosball. He's also going to harvest some online videos and bring them in to show them. And of course, Clay is the greatest statistician in the history of foosball. And I'd say that without any sort of doubt in my mind whatsoever. He is phenomenal. And he can always talk from that perspective as well, using analytics. Right. So it's going to be a fascinating 2 hours, 10 hours a week of
that's great.
Hanging out with Clay inside Foos Daily. It's going to be on Twitch, twitch.tv/InsideFoos, 4 o'clock Central Time, which really is, I think, a good time for everybody, including those in Europe. Get a little late night Foos Talk every night. And so mark your schedules. We're going to have Clay on next week to talk about it here on Foos Talk Live.
I was going to say we should
mark your schedules. It starts a week from tomorrow.
Well, here we are. I've got like roughly half an hour left to go, and we're getting ready for this huge event this coming week in foosball. Of course, 8 o'clock on ESPN2 this Thursday evening, Eastern Daylight Time, by the way, is Foosballers the Movie is being replayed on ESPN2, immediately followed by the 2019 World Cup for Spain. And that's going to be at 10 o'clock immediately following. What a fantastic night it's going to be in Thursday evening on ESPN2. And we're just very, very fortunate right now to have the director of Foosballers, the movie, who is responsible for a lot of these things going on Thursday night. Joe Hesslinger, welcome to Foos Talk Live.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How are you?
Hi, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Hello.
Great to hear your voice.
Yeah, you too.
So Joe,
wow.
Go ahead, Tom.
Big stuff going on here. I know that Jim and you have been working very closely on this production. What are your thoughts? Are you psyched or what?
Oh, for sure, man. It's always cool to see, a movie that you made with that little ESPN logo in the bottom right-hand corner of the TV.
Yeah.
So that's going to be cool. And then, this other project was kind of, something that I wasn't really expecting that just kind of came to fruition. And yeah, ESPN wanted to do more foosball stuff. And, Fareed at the ITSF had all this amazing footage from last year's World Cup. And we came in and cut together like an hour-long piece. And that's what we're going to be showing right after the movie.
That's awesome. Very cool. How long did this project come together? I mean, it took a long time to put all this together. How long have you been working on it?
Yeah, well, so it's been a few months. It really, the bulk of the work came like right at during peak quarantine, COVID-19 stuff.
Yes.
So originally I was going to have Noah Rosenstein, who's a Fooser. He's also a TV editor out here in LA. He was working on it a little bit with me. And then he had to jump to another project. So I wasn't working on anything, and I figured, hey, might as well get my feet wet a little bit and dive back into the edit bay, which is the edit bay is my dining room table now.
Yeah, okay, you're home.
Now that we're all doing the lockdown thing, working from home. But it took a couple months to kind of put everything together. It's an hour-long program, and anybody who watched any of the live stream for the World Cup, it was, the finals matches were 2+ hours, and there was a whole weekend worth of stuff. So it was just trying to condense everything and trying to make, figure out what was going to be the best package to put out there. So we do like kind of a cool recap of the individual events, slow it down a little bit for men's singles, men's doubles. And then we go right into the nation's final event, which Team USA was in the finals for both men and women. So we get to kind of cut back and forth between the men's final and the women's final. And, it was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to watch. And I remember watching it live. This was last year. I think it was on the 4th of July. I was at a buddy's house and we were watching. I put on foosball on TV. He's like, dude, what are you doing, man? Like, putting foosball on TV. I was like, no, it's Team USA. It's Team USA. These guys have all heard me talk about the movie for, years now. And, so they're kind of used to me, talking about foosball and rolling their eyes or whatever. But I put it on TV and they're like, halfway through, they're pretty stoked. And they were rooting on Team USA. So it was fun to see them watch it. And I knew that there was something fun here. So that's what we did. We put a little hour-long program together.
Now that we're together, I would like to get your impressions. First of all, Mark, what did you think of Thursday night?
Oh man, that was amazing. I always have trepidation because I'm not sure what I'm about to see. And you know, you have a love for foosball because you've been around it. And my wife's sitting next to me, and I gotta preface everything, and I pause it right before it starts. I'm like, I need you to watch this as an objective observer. Don't pander. Don't make it up. If you hate it, I need to know if you hate it. Like, I'm so serious about. I just want your real opinion because I don't want any kind of weird, I don't want her to not worry about hurting my feelings. And she's watching it, and she had the best compliment I could have imagined about her watching. She's watching it with interest. She's not goofing around. She's not messing with her phone. And what she says is, "This is way better than tennis."
Wow.
And I'm thinking, that's pretty damn good because tennis has a huge following, and not all those people play tennis. And
Sure.
it seems to be and she's like, "This is way more interesting than tennis," which for me was like her saying, I could actually watch this, enjoy it, and like it. And if she's speaking for a broad demographic of people that are watching it, a lot of people put it on. And don't get me wrong, I don't want any pretenses. A lot of people turned it off, but a great many people got fixated that it didn't know anything about foosball and loved it. And want to know more about it and are interested in it and are thinking about it. Or they know their friend that has a table in their cellar and they're like, man, that's kind of fun. I didn't expect that. I didn't know that it was that competitive. So I thought it was amazing. I really, really loved it. And my wife did. And I got 2 people reached out to me and they said they really enjoyed it. And so and I had other people watch it too to get their opinions. And to a person, asking every single person to be absolutely honest with me who don't have exposure to foosball. Everybody loved it, and I think that's great. That's really great.
It's interesting. I have a good friend who's a sports fan. Now, he didn't know that much about foosball, but he did watch ESPN2 that night for the entire night. He contacted me the next day and said, hey, listen, the tracing of the shots, that really got me into it. He goes, all of a sudden I could see what was happening on the table, and it completely changed my experience. So I said, yeah, I said, see, it's once you start to understand these individuals who are playing at the top level, what they're doing and how crazy fast and how amazing it is, you see what they're actually doing in the replays too. Of course, the instant replay with the tracing, it made all the difference for them.
Yeah. What's interesting about that is we think back on poker. Right. Poker, every year they'd show the World Series of Poker. It was probably Gabe Kaplan hosting it.
Yes.
We had no idea what was in the players' hands or anything like that. Then some genius said, hey, why don't we do this? Put a camera through glass so we can see the players' hands. And that changed everything. Poker became super popular on television. The World Series of Poker went 5-fold in terms of participants. And that was the key to that.
Yeah.
Now, for televised foosball, if we could somehow do this live, of course, you can do it in post-production. But to have the tracing of the passes, of the shots, have it instantaneously, it comes and it goes, and you're left with an impression of where that ball went. That could certainly be game-changing when it comes to televised foosball.
No doubt. No doubt about it. It clears up everything. Now, I've been trying to talk my wife into sitting down to watch, but, I'm not successful yet, but I will be. I'll get there. I want to get her impression of what she thinks. But anyway, it is something that it's spectacular to know that ESPN2 is willing to take this chance and, just open it up to the general population, which it greatly deserves. So again, kudos to you, Joe, John O'Brien, everybody involved in that production. Just fantastic.
Kudos to you as well, Tom. Tom did the opening, Tom did the Foosball Clubs USA ads that were on there, and very professional as usual, Mr. Robinson.
Well, I was sitting there critiquing myself. Sorry, but that's my curse. I do that.
As do I. Yeah, I find it very difficult to watch anything I've done.
Yeah. So,
but what I loved? Let me add one more thing that I think is wonderful about it. So this was a product that you guys took from archived footage and added edits later to create a story which resonated really, really well. I think the beauty of this was that it resonated well and it wasn't developed from the onset to tell a story. What that tells me is as you guys develop further content that tells a story that's designed to tell a story, it's going to be that much more impacting, that much more resonating, and have that much more appeal. So going forward, if granted Joe and Steve, and there continues to be collaboration because Joe is the storyteller and
master.
Jim, what you do is integral and it can't be done without you.
There you have it. The best of the summer of 2020 from FoosTalk Live. I'm Tom Robinson on behalf of Jim and the rest of the crew. We'll return live next week on FoosTalk Live. In the meantime, this edition of Foos Talk Live, the best of the summer of 2020, has been brought to you by 518 Prince, also Foosballers the Movie, Foosball Clubs USA, also Foos by Tony and Foos by Brandon. Enjoy the rest of your Labor Day weekend, and thanks for tuning in to Foos Talk Live, a product of Foosball Radio and Inside Foos TV. Till next time, we'll see you on the table.